Let's compare this Toro Titan Max with the Toro Z Master 2000 series. I think you who are watching this, you might have large acreage, you might have 2, 3, 4, 5 acres, or you might be a commercial grass cutter. So there are many pros and cons between these two models. Two very robust models from Toro that get you into better value as far as the warranties that are offered. There's a lot of differences between these two. One Toro considers residential, one they consider commercial. But this is as close to possible as commercial as you can get in that Toro line. And I have many commercial landscapers that will actually look at this if you're more in those earlier stages of business and trying to get everything off the ground, and you are looking at this a little more from a budget perspective. So if you watch any of my videos, you know the first thing we must talk about is transmissions. So between these two models and what they build all of these machines around is the transmission, and then you look at engine and some of these other specs in between. So this Toro Titan Max has a Hydro Gear ZT 3100 transmission, and if you jump up to this class, you have a Hydro Gear ZT 3400 transmission. I see that as sort of the point when you go from residential to more on commercial level. When you have a Hydro Gear ZT 3400 transmission, that's when you typically see it in commercial units. Other things you see when you talk about what makes this residential versus this one being commercial is you come back to the engine. If we come to the back compartment here, let's look over to the Toro Titan Max side. This sports a Kohler 26 horsepower engine. And this is going to be indicative of a higher caliber engine. We have a bigger air canister filter like this. And if I pull this off right now, you see I've got this cylindrical piece. This is not a real small air canister filter. Sometimes they're flat across the back. This is a better grade engine. Now this is the only engine option that you can get if you go to the Toro Titan Max. And if I go over to this class, this is the most entry level of Z Master, and this has their Toro commercially graded engine. They say right in here, this is a commercial V-twin. And when you see an actual commercial engine, this is typically what you're gonna see. You got an actual air canister filter back here. I'm gonna go a lot deeper than just talking about the transmission and the engines, but I think this is a perfect point to talk a little bit about the price points you're gonna see as you compare these two models, because like I said, you got one engine option over there, you have multiple on this side. So let's talk about what are the price points you're gonna be looking at depending on what engine options you get, because outside of that, many of the components are the same, but there are some options that Toro is going to give you. So the Toro Titan Maxes, these sell for $7,099. Now keep in mind when I say this pricing, this is as of right now going into the fall of 2025. This pricing could vary from dealer to dealer. It could depend on the time. Prices can change and go up, down, whatever. Prices could come up in 2026 or thereafter. Now, this is the most affordable Z Master that you can get in a 60-inch. Most of the models that we sell are 60-inch, so I'm comparing two 60-inch models. This one sells for $9,599. So you're looking at a pretty significant difference in price right now, as you're talking about a $2,500 difference. And is it worth that jump for you? So I'm gonna come back to these two models. I've got a couple models over here that we're gonna talk about just to give that ultimate comparison understanding. And if I look right over here, this is actually a demo model that we had. This has the 28 horsepower Briggs & Stratton Vanguard engine. This is a fuel injected option. If you choose to get this option, the price is going to jump significantly. The exact number I think is between $11,000 and $12,000. Maybe it's $11,299. I'm sure we'll put it on the screen somewhere, tell you exactly what that sells for. And then what alternatively can you get? Let's go in my showroom real quick and let's talk about some features. So here we are in the showroom. This one looks a little bit different on the surface. So different engine option, different platform option. This is a Toro MyRide. So it's a Z Master with the MyRide. This is a really robust system. One thing that you lost in earlier models when they give you this MyRide, this super comfortable ride, is you're missing access to the deck. Well, if you get the MyRide in the 2000 series and above, you can actually flip this panel up and you can still get access to the deck. So it's really nice that you're still gonna grab access as needed. But this is what a lot of people love about this MyRide option is this has a Kawasaki engine. So this is their FX730V. And again, just like that Briggs class, just like the Toro class, this has that big air canister filter. If I pull this off right now, just to show you how much better that air filtration system is here, Donaldson is a big player in the game, and they put a lot of Donaldson air filters in these big commercial engines, and they will actually come with a pre-filter. So it's a really high grade engine fully commercial. And you know, I always mention air filters because that's kind of just a telltale sign when you look at an engine. If you see it protruding like this, that it's commercial. But the internal components are so much better made when you get to an actual full-on commercial class engine. Well, let's jump back outside to where we're talking about these exact two models, but I did want you to understand you can get some different engine options. You can get the MyRide, a lot of different offerings there. Toro has their own branded engine here. This is an engine that they've been selling, I think, for close to 10 years, somewhere in that ballpark. So with this one, you can actually pull down on this tube to do oil changes, which makes it really easy. So that's a nice feature by Toro. And this is not as well known because typically you're gonna see Kohler, Kawasaki, Briggs, those are gonna be those engine options that you typically see. Toro, not one you're always seeing, but I'll tell you what, this has been a very reliable engine for us, something that only Toro is offering, but you really are not gonna go wrong with this engine option. It's significantly more affordable, right? As I mentioned, these other engine options, but I don't think you're gonna sacrifice reliability if you go this route. So let's jump back to this comparison between these two models, just in frame structure and working their way back. So the Toro Titan Max is something that was new in the last year here, and what was so significantly different about it is this I-beam structure. But if you look over to this 2000 series, man, they are eerily similar. Ever so slightly smaller of a structure over on this side. As you come back, the theme between these two mowers used to be pretty significantly different, but now they're going with this rugged I-beam construction frame. You have a similar pin system to raise and lower your deck. You have access to the deck in both cases that I can flip this up and I can flip this up. As you go back on the Toro side, you're getting just a little bit more robustness. If you come over to the deck on the 2000 series, you're getting a 7-gauge deck. This is just heavier in general. It's got kind of a taller bullnose edge that they put on this. This is a 10-gauge, but they have their more traditional bullnose edge that's just kind of a smaller profile in the front. Both very sturdy, very heavy duty. And then as we keep working our way back on these machines, you have handles, you have adjustability. Something that kind of changed with Toro is they kind of went to this more tubular style that you can turn this dial to set this exactly where you want. Now in theory, I think that sounds like a good thing that you can move it. There's a lot more adjustability. To me, this is a much more rigid system. It's a thicker metal. You have a little bit of a slot right here so you can move this forward and backwards, and I think that's enough to be able to get the adjustability that you need. And then you can move this to different height settings as well. This one, you as well have the ability to move it to some different height settings. As we keep going back, this is where you're gonna see a significant upgrade in the seat. So anytime you see this dial here, you can dial this based upon your weight. This is a premium suspension seat that is really gonna give you significantly better comfort when you go to this jumper here. Now I mentioned, and even that alone might be a huge reason that you wanna jump over to the 2000 series, but I did mention that even at the most affordable engine offering, you're looking at a $2,500 difference in price. I'd say probably about half of the time, I have people upgrade from this seat to an actual suspension seat. If I walk over to a 4000 series mower right now, on the 4000 series, they look pretty similar to that 2000 series with that big I-beam frame. But this seat right here does come with armrests. One thing I wish they did on the 2000 series, this is the seat. If you look up the schematics of that, this will help you guys because I get this question quite a bit. The part number on this seat is 1442632. That seat can fit on that Toro Titan Max. Now that's like an $800 and some seat. I don't know if that's $830 or something around that mark. It's around $800. So imagine getting that seat onto this Toro Titan Max, and probably show you a picture of a customer who's bought one with this seat upgrade because that's typically the way it seems to go. Now if you do that, you're gonna get into a price point that's just under $8,000, okay? So then all of a sudden, when you compare these two machines, they're gonna ride very similar from one model to another, and you're looking closer to an $8,000 price point versus this $95.99. At that point, the ride quality is pretty similar, but you do have $1,600 in savings to go this route. And I mentioned at the start, this has a Hydrogear ZT3100 transmission. This has the ZT3400 transmission. Transmission is how fast you're going across the lawn. So if you're a commercial landscaper and you get into this ZT3400 transmission, when you're running a transmission all day long, it will push it as far as how long it will last over time. And when you have a ZT31 versus ZT3400, this will just last significantly longer, I think, when you jump up to that class. And then another thing, maybe you're a homeowner as well. Very often we have homeowners with large acreages, considering these two mowers, if you have a lot of hills, that is something where jumping to a bigger transmission will make it last that much longer, because there's a lot of strain on a transmission, you know, when you're going up and down hills, and also when you're running it all day long. So even if you're not a commercial landscaper, that's a pretty nice jump right there. But there's a huge difference. If you go to the Titan class, they have a ZT 2800 transmission, right? So when you're going from Titan to Titan Max, you get this ZT 3100. This is a significantly better transmission than the regular Titan class. So that alone, don't think you're shortchanging yourself from a transmission standpoint if you get this Toro Titan Max. Okay, you're gonna be in good shape on this. And one thing that even changes outside of that is, on the regular Toro Titans, you've got a 3-year warranty. The Toro Titan Max, they're giving you a 400-hour or 4-year warranty. This has a 4-year warranty as well, or up to 1,000 hours. So if you're a homeowner, that 4-year difference might not matter at all. Maybe you put 100 or less hours every single year. But if you're a commercial landscaper, 4 years or a 1,000-hour limit, that, for the extra price, I think is well worth it from a landscaper perspective. 400 hours versus 1,000. Because if you're a commercial landscaper, you're gonna hit the hour mark sooner. Is that worth a $2,500 difference? Number one, just from a warranty standpoint, but then outside of that, you're thinking how much faster it moves, how much more durable it is. So I think if you're a commercial landscaper, I like that jump right there. But of course, you gotta watch what that budget is. I can always respect if you gotta spend a certain dollar amount. With a slightly bigger transmission comes a slightly bigger tire. These are 24-inch tires versus 23-inch tires. That will support a little bit faster ground speed along with that bigger transmission, but I think it's also gonna hold a hill a little bit better as well. Subtle things as you go around this machine. You're gonna have a parking brake. Toro makes it really easy to flip on and off a parking brake. They went with a mechanical integrated parking brake right here that simply just putting the arm bars out puts it in park. So that's really nice that you don't have to worry about a lever as you go in there. Both of these, as far as adjusting the deck, is gonna be fairly similar. So if I come over to this and I press this forward, there's a little latch right here. And if I press this or hold it up, then it will drop to this height. If I press it hands-free, I can push this up and it will lock in this totally upright position. And then when I don't have pressure against this pin, I can reset it to whatever height that I want. I simply press it forward and then it will drop it to my desired height. So one feature I really like. That's something you get with the 2000 series and something you also get with this Titan Max. So if I go here, it says just a similar type of system right here, and I can press this forward and then we'll drop it to its desired height. When you get into this Toro Titan series and above, you're gonna get 1/4-inch cutting height increments, which is gonna really help you dial in into the exact height that you want for your cut quality. Coming back across that deck, and as we talk about cut quality and things of that nature, okay, as I try to, now Rocky wants to join in on this, okay. When I wanna access and get, you know, maybe I cut and I wanna just blow this off afterwards, or wanna get access to changing a spindle or a pulley, this right here, I can simply pull up. Rocky, you gonna let me do this? So I pull up and then it will slide out, and then I've got total access right there. And you're gonna notice a big 5/8-inch belt, something that's a better quality belt as you go to this class. And then I just kind of find this notch right here, and then I'm gonna push it back, and then I press down. It's pretty easy to take on and off. Toro's been running this system on this Z Master for a while, that I literally just pull back on this point right here. It's easier to access your mowing deck, you know, on the Z Master series. So I really like that from Toro. I think it's just a little bit easier. I think as you go up in any class of mower, they're always gonna make these little things easier, you know, as you continue on. And they've set a lot of these things up because I told you, this is a model that is new within the last year or two. So they've set up this back compartment fairly similar between these two models, except on the Max series, I can flip this seat up. There's a little bit more spring forgiveness there. There's your gas tank. So when you're sitting on this machine, there is a very thin sight line and you can see what your fuel level is. I wish that was in a little bit more accessible spot. They actually do this on both the Z Master series and this Titan Max. So you do have a gas gauge, but a little bit harder to see. You gotta look between some things in there. And then you get back in this region, you got a battery that's really easy to access. I do like that. And then if you just look around this engine, there's a lot of space actually to work on this. And if you're doing a really large project where you need to access even more, it's just a couple, few bolts that you got to take off to be able to work on this machine. And if I look at how that compares on the 2000 series, pretty similar in the fact that you're getting a battery over on this side. Now this one, I can't flip the seat up. Similar deal here, that they're only putting the gas tank, and they're gonna have a gas gauge where there is a sight line in this area as well. I think a little bit more visible on the 2000 series. And same deal, I got a pretty good amount of room around this engine compartment to be able to work if I'm doing maintenance. And one thing you may have noticed that I haven't mentioned to this point, you're seeing a nice big roll bar right here. Same thing on the Titan Max. That's a feature that just comes into the picture at the Toro Titan Max. This is something that if you are on a big slope and you put this bar up, it's some protection. It's a rollover protection bar. Personally, and that's me maybe just more cutting a lot of flat acre properties, I like keeping this down. I've almost seen more injuries with this up catching tree branches and something whipping in your face. So most of you will probably keep this down, but you might be on a slopey property where that's a really big advantage that you get with both of these machines here. This has an actual tow receiver. You can actually put a hitch in here with a ball and you could haul something even more substantial. This one, they're just giving you a standard hull to be able to get a cart around, things like that. And so at the end, you got to make a decision between these two mowers, and there's a price difference. There's a $2,500 price difference. This is the smallest price difference that you can get. If you go to these other commercial options, then the price difference gets even more vast. That's why I see most homeowners lean right here. But I'll say the 2000 series Z-Master, you know, with Z-Masters, they have a 4000, a 5000, a 6000 as well. Really big landscape companies, I see them go more to the 4, 5, and 6000 series. I see homeowners with large acreage going here, and then maybe you're just kind of looking more from a budgetary standpoint as well on the commercial side, and I will see commercial landscapers go to this realm right here. Now, I mentioned that you can get that My Ride option. That's one of Toro's claim to fame, that you can get the My Ride with almost every single different model. The Titan Max, up until this point, they've not had a My Ride option, and they've limited you on engine availability. Well, my Toro rep has tipped me off for 2026, which is coming out in the future. The next model they're gonna unveil is gonna be a Toro Titan Max with the My Ride option. So that's gonna be a really nice feature, something that really could be right in between these models as that perfect answer, that I'm gonna stop upgrading people to these suspension seats and probably get the Toro Titan Max with the My Ride. On top of just giving the My Ride option in 2026, they're also gonna give you a Kawasaki engine option. So a couple really nice changes that they're gonna do, just giving more options. I find that customers want a lot of different options, and there might be, for whatever particular reason, that you want to go to something here instead of right there. And so if you've made it with me to this point, you're probably deeply debating which of these two mowers do I get. Well, once you've settled on which one that is, come see us. We're located in Jackson, Michigan. We did a delivery all the way out to Minnesota, all the way from Jackson, Michigan this past weekend. We've done trips out to West Virginia, went to South Dakota, Arizona. It makes a difference, right? When some of you guys might realize, hey, you're only an hour or two from us, or whatever the case may be, and people make a trek to come see us. So a couple of these recently from that same thing happening. So don't be afraid to come see us in Jackson, Michigan, or maybe you could watch the next video that we think would be the right video for you to watch in your mower searching journey.